Audio Live.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 26th episode of the Untamed Rant. I am the Untamed Scribe, and as always, with me is the I, Mr. Crowley.
The I. Yes, good.
In this episode, we're going to be talking about Xanathar and Beholders.
Yes, the best. One of the best creations. That I can't use as much as I want in stuff, because, like, IP and whatnot.
You know, things. So, to get this started, I'm just going to go through something that I found, because basically, I know nothing all that great about Beholders themselves and Xanathar himself. I'm just kind of like, yeah, I know him. He's a Beholder. That's all I got, really.
And a crime lord.
Yeah, that I knew, but, you know, he's never come up in games I've played, although that is kind of changing. Spoilers for anybody who doesn't know necessarily, but you can choose Xanathar as the villain in the Waterdeep Dragon Heist game.
Yes.
But...
and on the screen, you can see a halfling, I believe, stealing his fish.
Yeah, that's a bad move. That's just a bad move.
Yeah, it's a good way to make him angry.
Legit.
Steal his pet fish.
Not good. That's a courageous little gnome. Good job. You're gonna die. So from what I just did kind of like a general kind of search for anything Xanathar, and I found the Forgotten Realms wiki, which I've never really used before.
There's so much information on there.
I know. But it's talking about the history of Xanathar and how originally he was known as the Eye. And how Xanathar himself is not really Xanathar, like that's just the name that different beholders have taken up that mantle over time. Whether or not that's true, I have no idea, but that's what this is telling me, basically. And
depends how you want to interpret it.
And before we even started this, I asked, my alchemist about it, and he said, we'll talk about it, meaning that it's probably wrong. So go ahead. What did you want to say about it?
It's not wrong. It's that the beholders are weird, and they create new beholders by dreaming them up.
What?
And they just, like, pop into existence. So,
I didn't know that. That's crazy.
So, like, it's taking up the mantle of the Xanathar as the crime lord, one of the crime lords in Waterdeep. But if it was created from the dream of the other Xanathar, then maybe it could still be a Xanathar.
Okay, I get what you're saying there, I guess.
Or it could just be another beholder. But there's some flexibility there, depending on how you want to treat it.
All right. I mean, that's good to know, because I didn't know that clearly. And this, it goes into more of that history on the Forgotten Realms wiki about, it used to be in this era, and then this era it was somebody else, and it goes it's a good read. I found it very entertaining, but again, having never looked at anything like this, I was a little skeptical, but I didn't even realize that they just dream up their own people.
Yeah, so, like, if I remember correctly, beholders, like, dream up other beholders, but they're, like, megalomaniacs, so, like, they need to be the only one and the best one or whatever. So they always, like, they don't cooperate usually, except for there's the whole concept of a beholder hive, and
that's what it goes. It talks about a hive in the
so wiki, like, so when they gather in what are called hives, and it's kind of like I guess they call it a hive because of the way the structure would look, because they would just disintegrate tunnels in the rock, and if you can fly like a beholder, then, there's no limit on where entrances and exits to rooms need to be.
Mm-hmm.
There's only a limit of putting stuff in those rooms based on gravity. So, like, it's just like this honeycomb of rooms. But, who do they worship? Sometimes they worship, it's like it's the something mother.
That I didn't see on here. It did not say, but...
Oh yeah, they're also incredibly xenophobic and paranoid.
Yeah, let's see.
Where is it?
Or it's just beholders in general, right? Beholders worship.
They don't all do, but, like, they tend to, when they gather, as far as I'm aware, worship a beholder god. I think she's just called the Hive Mother, or something to that effect.
Oh, Great Mother?
Yeah.
Great
That
Mother.
sounds right.
Yeah. Yeah, the Great Mother is the creator and primary racial deity of beholders. Gibbering orbs and the various races of beholder kin. The Great Mother is a beholder deity of magic, fertility, and tyranny. Its symbol is an egg with an eye peering out of its center.
And there's, like, all kinds of beholder and beholder kin, and they've kind of changed over time. Like, the Xanathar is your pretty classic beholder.
Really? Okay.
Well, I mean, the current depiction, he's got a pretty goofy smile, but that's okay.
Yeah. That's just that one artist.
Like, 4th edition, they made them much more...
Yeah,
like,
I have.
vicious.
I have the 4th edition ones up, and their teeth alone is like terrifying.
There's a good one. Yeah, and they got, like, plates.
Yeah,
like armor plates.
They're
and then
crazy.
Then you got, like, some old ones I got up on the screen. I think that's an image probably from 2nd edition, or maybe this might be one of the 3rd edition books. But there's so many, like, weird ones. Like, there's undead ones. There's, like, one with, like, lobster claws. And... but, like, whether or not they're technically beholders depends on which edition you're looking at. Because, like, currently the Death Kiss beholder... currently, like, they really go on the whole, they dream up creating themselves into they dream up changing themselves. So, like, a Death Kiss beholder is what happens when they have a nightmare about blood or vampires.
Oh, yeah.
But,
no big deal.
I think in 4th edition, Death Kiss beholders were, like, literally vampiric beholders. But, I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter how the transformation takes place. But then you got, I think it's in Volo's guide. I like Death Kiss beholders, but, what's it called? It's not in here.
What? Which one? What are you looking for?
Oh, it's under Illithid. It's an Illithid beholder. It's a freaking nightmare.
That's just disturbing.
Yeah, when the Illithids perform Ceramorphosis on a beholder, it becomes one of these things, and it is just... What is it? So I can look it up and get it on the screen. Mind Witness.
What?
Yeah. Terror. It's got, like...
Oh, nasty.
Yeah.
It's like a octopus.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
There's so many different... That's just an octopus, literally. There's so many types of beholders.
That one looked so silly.
out there. Like, there's an old version of the Mind Witness.
One?
What is that guy?
Something you don't want to fuck with, that's what it is. Ugh.
Oh, is this other Beholderkin? Yeah, so in 3rd edition in the Book of Madness, there was even more Beholderkin that was, like, not... It was more like creatures that... I guess the best way to phrase it, I don't remember the technicalities, but it's like creatures from the world where beholders come from. Because Beholders and Illithids and stuff played huge in, like, the Spelljammer stuff. So, like, everything had its own, like, civilization and planet. But, like, this thing that I have small on the screen, I can't get it any bigger, is an Overseer. And it doesn't look like a Beholder at all. It's like this tentacled tree with mouths. But it's Beholder kin. But yeah, beholders are fun. I like beholders.
Are fun. Okay, so let's really quickly, because I know we're gonna get into way more about beholders, but let's just go real quickly back to Xanathar. Is like, my knowledge is so limited. Was there anything else you wanted to add about Xanathar specifically? Because that's one of the main focuses of this particular rant is himself. So I don't know if, like, I'm sure you won't know more about him than I do.
I mean, so he's like the biggest crime lord in Waterdeep, and has, like, tunnels and sections of the sewer that he controls all. That's nice email. Go away. All throughout the underground of Waterdeep. And he literally has a pet fish. It's like such a simple narrative element to give this insane paranoid creature a pet fish. But, like, so his minions, if the fish dies, they have to, like, get a new one that looks the same and replace it before the Xanathar notices, or he'll go crazy and, like, kill them.
That much I knew. I knew about the pet. Maybe I do know a little more than I say I do, but I knew that he was, like, really obsessed with the fish.
And his followers, you know, they're thieves and bandits and stuff. I mean, it's a crime syndicate that's run by a beholder, so yeah, it's a wild ride. And Chris Perkins playing him recently in Dice Camera Action really played up on the weirdness of the way they think and work. And, like, there weren't even many battle scenes with the Xanathar. It was some talking, and, like, at one point they did end up killing him, but at one point, just my whole train of thought just completely derailed. At one point, Colton's character regularly does, like, fourth wall breaking gimmicks. Okay. So Chris, like, had the Xanathar be like, I've seen the notes, I know what your dexterity is, and stuff like that, and, like, broke the fourth wall with the beholder, because beholders are weird. Why not? So it was like fourth wall breaking versus fourth wall breaking, and it was hilarious.
I feel like, other than the fish and from what I understand, what little I understand about the Waterdeep Dragon Heist story, that Xanathar himself, like, he just sees people as slaves, which I think most beholders do anyway. But also that, like, he's about, you know, having his guild be the most powerful, if nothing else. And
yeah, so I mean, he's classic, like, crime boss. Like, I have to rule the underworld, and I am in charge, and you guys are just here to do what I tell you to do.
Do my bidding. You know, that's how I see it. I mean, do you see, like, that picture right there with the guy cowering in front of, like,
exactly, yeah. But he's got the box of treasure.
Yeah, like, oh, I didn't mean it.
You know, please don't blast me.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's a good one right there, yeah.
Might get blasted.
I mean, probably. Let's be honest. He's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have it. I don't know if you do, but Xanathar's Guide to Everything.
Yeah. So that's actually, like, there's... The fun thing about this is that it's, like, written with a whole bunch of notes in the edges from the Xanathar.
Okay.
So, like, under Barbarian Path of the Storm Herald, right? There's a note that says, you know what the great benefits of living underground? No weather. Don't mess this up for me. It's just little notes.
Okay, yeah.
Or, like, the cleric. I don't understand the attraction of gods. Why would anyone worship anything other than me? And it's just a lot of little notes that give you insight into how, not only how beholders think, but how Xanathar thinks.
I mean, that's valid, though. Why would you worship anything other than him?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Shenanigans.
Or, like, for the Horizon Walker, you can't walk to the horizon because it keeps getting further away. Boom. Did I just blow your mind? I did, didn't I?
And again, because I don't have it, like, Xanathar's Guide to Everything is, like, it has a mix between... Does it have extra classes you can do? Right?
It's got all kinds of subclasses. I mean, they kind of... I think they just played up the theme of the releases. But it's got a whole bunch of class options. It's got Dungeon Master's tools, so there's, like, more... falling rules, sleeping rules, how to use proficiencies, spell casting, random encounter stuff, some trap stuff, downtime.
Here, give me 1 second. I'm going to look at something real quick. Hold on.
Sure. So yeah, here I am, left to my own devices, looking at terrifying pictures of beholders. I really want to add something beholder-like to my campaign world, but it's kind of hard without just making beholders. I wonder when Red will be back. We'll be right back, folks. Hello.
Hello?
Hi.
Are we still live?
Yeah, we're live.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay. I could not find what I needed to find. Sorry. Okay. So, anywho. So, yeah, they have different, you were talking about different classes that they could do, and then, again, because I don't have it in front of me, what else does it have in there?
Just a bunch of tools for Dungeon Master. So it's just like some expansions on what you have access to for both players and Dungeon Masters. It's a general supplement book. It really has very little to do with beholders. There's more stuff about beholders in Volo's guide than in Xanathar's.
Yeah, where you said that, and I was looking and I could not find.
It's like page 4.
Oh,
it's the first one. Page 5.
Just take a look. See.
Okay, my books could stop falling over. That'd be great.
Good luck with that.
So there's like a whole.
Oh, what? Yeah, totally.
And they have a whole set of tables that helps you figure out what a beholder that your characters are going to meet looks like. From color to skin texture to the iris shape, what size it is.
Cool. Page 7. That's it's just because I'm noticing it because I have so many books open right now. But that's the picture from 4th edition. That's dope.
Yeah, they reused some art for this.
I mean, that thing's just terrible. Like, I like the fact that
the Frost Beholder. Yeah.
Yeah. So great.
And then...
Oh, wow. They give it different iris shapes, too? That's so crazy.
Yeah, they also have a lot of suggestions on how a beholder would go about using its various eye beams outside of combat. Because they're tools. Obviously, a beholder's not just going to fight with it. Especially, like, telekinetic ray. Super helpful when you don't have arms.
Yeah, legit. Sleep ray.
And, like, page 12 has some examples of what some different eye stalks could look like to make it look neat. As well as some variant abilities, so... They really play up the idea of having a huge variety within whatever beholders you meet.
Wow, yeah, this is pretty cool. See, and I have not had an opportunity yet to use a beholder in a campaign, so hence, even though I've got Volo's Guide, was something that I just kind of glossed over. Kind of sad that I did, because this is some dope information. Like, it is just cool, the flavoring that you can give it, too. That's really neat.
Yeah, and, like, even this, the Volo's Guide goes into the Xanathar's guild, talking about how ambitious he is, and what other people know about him.
This is really cool, too, because, as you mentioned for beholders earlier, it gives you the, you were mentioning that they dig tunnels and whatnot. And this is talking about beholder layers.
Yeah, it gives an example layer with just, like, tunnels that go all over the place.
Yeah, that's so cool. But, like, hey, I'm totally going to have a prison because I'm a beholder, so why wouldn't I?
Yeah, obviously.
And Eyes in the Sky is a good one. Because a beholder's paranoia knows no limits, it often designs its lair to include secret passageways that are used for reconnaissance or surprise attacks.
Yeah. And it, of course, you can... I forget how gazers are made, technically, but they're the little 4 eye stalk beholder, like, minion.
Okay, yeah.
Little grapefruit beholders, basically.
Great.
That they can send out to see things. Beholders find gazers amusing and tolerate their presence like spoiled pets. A gazer is a tiny manifestation of a beholder's dreams. It resembles the beholder who dreamed it into existence, but is only 8 inches wide.
Oh.
It follows its creator like a devoted, aggressive puppy.
It's only 8 inches, it said? Oh my god, tiny.
Yeah, little guy.
Can you pull up a picture of that on your thing?
Yeah. I can do that.
And what's this one called? A gazer. Okay. Oh my gosh! The cartoon ones are getting me.
That's Albie from Dice Camera Action, the little albino beholder who Strix has taken as a pet.
Oh man.
And then there's your normal one. Your average gazer.
You're not a special one. Wow, that's small. That's really small.
That's a 3rd edition version, I believe. It's another 3rd edition version.
That seems right.
Yeah, there's not a ton of versions, but I like that we found Albie up in here.
Yeah. I don't really know anything about Albie. I'm glad you do.
Albie's just a dopey, drooly gazer. Named Albie because he's albino.
I mean, that I put together. Wow. All right, cool. Let's see. Just reading more in this Volo's Guide here.
Yeah, there's a lot. I always liked beholder mages because of how the central eye projects an anti-magic field. So it becomes very difficult to cast spells, most of which you need to be able to see where you're casting it. If your eye eliminates magic in front of you. So Beholder Mages, at least a 3rd edition version, it was effectively a prestige class that only Beholders could take, but they had to remove their own eye. Like, they had to destroy their own central eye in order to become a mage. There's also, I think, Beholder Liches, which is basically undead Beholder Mage.
I have a mini for that one, which, again, never had the chance to use.
Where's a good picture of one that's not a zombie?
Yeah, that one, last row on the bottom, 3rd in from the right. That's the one. That's the mini I think I have.
I can't find as good a picture as I thought there was. Because I think that's a ghost one that I'm pointing to here that you'll see in a second.
Oh, yeah. I don't think that's the same. No.
This one's pretty good. But I think that's undead as well.
Yeah.
Oh, there's an okay one. You can see his eyes missing. Let's see. Beholder Lich? Yeah. Oh, there's a good one too. It's got the runes going up the tentacles.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's terrifying.
That's a cool one.
Let's see. And then this guy, I believe, is called, Death Tyrant.
Yeah, that's in 5th edition too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's right next to Beholder too, because it's part of it.
And the red dots are where the
eyes
tentacle eyes used to be.
Yeah.
That's a cool token.
That one's cool.
I love Beholders.
Now, why? Why do you love Beholders so much, even though you haven't really had a chance to use them? They're just weird.
Also, there's a ghost. They're so comprehensively mean.
Mm-hmm.
You got the anti-magic eye, so all it has to do is look at the caster and be close enough to it. It's got random eyeball magic rays, and you can do so much with it, telekinesis, pick someone up and throw them, drop them on the ground. But then there's just mean ones, especially in 3rd edition. 3rd edition was brutal. It was just Death Touch or Power Word Death, or one of those insta kill spells, roll a con save. If you fail, you're dead. The end.
Death Ray?
Yeah. And Disintegrate. There's at least 2 in the 3rd edition where, just insta dead if you get hit by it.
Yeah, they still have that in 5th edition. They still have those 2 rays on the Beholder.
They're not as powerful, though.
I don't have. I mean, I started with 3.5, but I don't have any 3rd edition books. But I know that, Death Ray, for example, they must succeed on a dex save or take 55 necrotic damage, and the target dies if the ray reduces them to 0.
Yeah, so
if you have
sounds
55,
rough,
you're fine, but
yeah. And I mean, it sounds rough. But I got the 5th edition, or the 3rd edition one out. Let's see. Where is it? Charm monster, charm person. So Disintegrate. Target must succeed a fortitude save or be affected as though the spell. Okay, well, I don't feel like looking that up as well. Finger of Death. Target must succeed a fortitude save and be slain as though by the spell. The target takes 3d6 plus 13 points of damage if the saving throw succeeds. So, Finger of Death was damage no matter what if you didn't die. And also the Paralysis one, Flesh to Stone in 3rd edition. Let's see.
Yeah, are you talking about Paralyzing Ray in 5th?
Yeah.
Because then in 5th, the target creature must succeed on a con save or be paralyzed for 1 minute. The target can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns, ending the effect on itself on a success.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure in 3rd edition, Flesh to Stone was like 1 saving throw.
And that's it, yeah.
Yeah.
For Disintegration Ray in 5th, though, this is talking about success on a dex save or take 45 force damage. And if that 45 reduces you to 0, that's when your body becomes a pile of fine gray dust.
How much is it? 45 damage?
Yeah.
Let me get the player's handbook out. Let's see. Let's start with Disintegrate. Oh no, actually, there's Finger of Death, so let me start with that one.
Yeah.
Finger of Death.
5 damage. That could reduce you to 0 and you die.
So, Finger of Death. You slay any one living creature within range. The target is entitled to a Fortitude saving throw in order to survive.
That's it. Just one shot. Yeah.
Yep. The end. Disintegrate. Any creature struck by the ray takes 2d6 points of damage, blah, blah, blah. Any creature reduced to 0 or fewer is entirely disintegrated. Yep, still takes damage, even if it succeeds, and still disintegrates if it's dropped to 0.
Yep.
And then, what was the other one? There's Finger of Death, Disintegrate, and...
And you were talking about Paralyzing Ray.
Yeah, so Flesh to Stone.
Which, again, in 5th edition, it's just if they fail the con save, paralyzed for 1 minute.
Yeah, the subject, along with all its carried gear, turns into a mindless inert statue. The end.
Yeah.
If you fail to save, you're a statue.
Yeah.
Enough said.
Flesh to Stone, that's why it's called that for a reason.
So yeah, it was a lot rougher back then.
Yeah. Kind of, I'm sure... Did 1st edition even have beholders?
Oh, yeah.
Did it?
Let me see. What can I pull out? I don't have... Is there monsters in this? I think the oldest book I have with... Oh, no, let's see. The oldest book I have with monsters is the Dungeons & Dragons Expert Rules, the book 2, 3-hole punch blue book.
Oh, yep.
But that has very minimal monsters, so it's got, like, some pixies, some giants, some animals, a basilisk. But the earliest one that I have a bunch of monsters from would be a D&D Monster Manual. What year is this? 1977. Yep. And I am like, oh, yeah, right here. Beholder. Now, I need to... Ow, my knee. Beholder.
Get it together, man.
2E. Yeah, this guy right here is what the Beholder once looked like.
Oh my gosh. Hey, classic.
And it had the same spells. Flesh to Stone Ray, Disintegrate Ray, Cause Serious Wounds, Death Ray. You know what's interesting? Is the Disintegrate Ray gives a 2-inch range. Which definitely means there was a battle map involved. And
Yes.
people like to complain about battle maps. To this day,
Why?
every time an edition like heavily relies on it, there's some people who like don't like that reliance, but it's very strongly built in, I think, to a lot of the game's aspects. Like move 3 inches.
Yeah. Legit. After looking at this, just because, again, I've never run one, but...
These rules were so complex for no
yeah.
reason.
Oh, first edition? Absolutely.
Yeah. Eye stalks can take 8 to 12 points of damage. The body of a beholder represents 75% of a potential hit area, and the central eye and the eye stalks 10% each, and the 10 small eyes 5%.
Oh my god.
I.e., a beholder with 45 hit points can withstand 30 hit points of damage to its body before being killed, and the 11th eye can withstand 15 points of damage before ceasing to function. Like, there's a whole paragraph.
Oh, man.
About doing too much math.
Yep. So the only thing, which is good.
Is it?
Not what you were just talking about, no. But for a beholder, the only condition immunities that they have are being prone, obviously, because they can fly and they're like... I guess that's the reasoning behind it. They're just a flying little ball of...
Yeah, it's hard to be knocked prone when you're always, like... Especially when you're an orb that can see in every direction.
Exactly, yeah.
I'm trying to find the...
Which makes sense. But at, like... It's just the rays that the eyes have is like the biggest problem a beholder will have, because like you can certainly do damage to it. However, if you fail a save or something, like that's where shit gets real.
Well, that and it can fly. If you catch one in a big space, like good luck jumping up there with your axe if you don't have any ranged weapons.
And most of their lairs are built specifically to not be reachable by foot. Like
they're not
that's what
dumb.
They do. Yeah, and that anti-magic cone too. That's a bad day. Bad day. Not that they can't be killed. It's just really difficult.
I'm trying to find.
Especially since they get legendary actions too, and they could have minions or pets, which I read about in Bolos too. I mean, obviously, Xanathar having a fish. I just found that funny, but no, they actually like to have pets.
Well, it would probably also consider, like, a giant a pet, so...
I mean, there's obviously multiple pets. The, what was it?
Here we go. So, Advanced Dungeons & Dragons 1st Edition Disintegrate was a level 6 spell. Casting time, 6 segments. Yeah, because that's used still. Let's see... This spell causes matter to vanish. It will affect even matter or energy of a magical nature, such as Bigby's forceful hand, but not a globe of invulnerability or an anti-magic shell. Disintegration is instantaneous and its effects are permanent. Any living thing can be affected, even undead, and non-living matter up to 1 inch cubic volume can be obliterated by the spell. Creatures and magic material with a saving throw which successfully save versus the spell are not affected. Yep, that's just it. It's Advanced Dungeons and Dragons Disintegrate was save or you're dust permanently. No damage and then you're dust. Just save or dust.
Just you're done. Oh my god.
What's Death Ray?
You can't find Death Ray?
I'm looking, and these aren't the easiest books to get through.
Oh, God, no. No, they're not. I've seen those books. So as I was mentioning just real quick while you're looking that up, the Gazers, for example, they like to keep as pets even. So, like, it could be hellhounds, it could be freaking chimeras, any of this shit. It could also be wyverns. Like, that could also be in the lair, so keep that in mind.
Yeah. So I'm going to assume that Death Ray is the death spell.
Yeah, because that's what they refer to. That's Death Ray is even in 5th edition.
So
like Death Touch or whatever you said it was for 3rd.
Yeah, 2nd edition. I think it says Death Ray under Beholder, but I think it's Death Spell in the rulebook. When a death spell is cast, it slays creatures in the area of effect instantly and irrevocably. The number of creatures can be slain is a function of their hit dice, and there are tables. If the victim's hit dice is less than 2, then it can affect 4d20 creatures.
Jesus Christ.
If it has 2 to 4 hit dice, it can do 3d10. There's also for mixed groups.
What?
Yeah, so
is this 2nd or is this 1st edition?
This is 1st edition Advanced Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay,
so this would be the non-revised 2nd edition, but not what most people refer to as 2nd edition. I don't know. It depends how much you care about delineating such things. 2nd edition AD&D was a little more digestible, but it was still heavily complicated.
Oh, yeah. Someday we'll have one of those games just for fun where we all just, anytime you die, you just come back and you have to drink.
I've tried to run an Advanced Dungeons and Dragons games, but it's tough because, like, it's tough because there's not a lot of, unless everyone wants to actually find a copy of the book and like learn the rules. It's tough because you have to like try to make it easier on yourself as the DM. So like, it's not like super hard, but instead of rolling and then comparing it to an AC, it's, creatures have Thaco, and it's like, okay, roll, and then I look at this table and it's like, okay, what do you need to get? And there's a lot of tables. There's a lot of tables, and it just takes time.
Yeah,
it's a lot harder to just like. It's not harder. It is and it isn't. It's harder to like just make stuff up on the spot, and then be consistent about it. Because you can't just be like, AC 18 sounds really good. We'll just keep it around there. No, if you're like, oh, it's this thing, you can't just be like, oh, it's Thaco is this. Because, like, ugh.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. It's a little more rigid.
Yeah, and there's also
it's a good way to
other aspects to it, like saving throws are way different. So, like, you have saves versus poison, you have saves versus death, you have saves versus like petrification. Like, you have a whole slew of saves that your abilities may or may not influence. And like, if you have a con of 12 and you're not a fighter, you might never read the phrase save versus poison in your stats, but you should still figure it out. So like, you got to make sure you have all those, but those aren't d20 rolls, those are dice percentage rolls. So there's all kinds of aspects to playing AD&D that is just from this standing point of the modern day is tough to break into without a lot of work.
Yeah. Some of the other things I just want to mention for Beholder, I mentioned a couple pets, but they also like their minions. So again, not only are you dealing with a badass that's a Beholder and all of those eye stalks and the shit that they can do, but you have lesser or greater minions potentially as well. So like giants, I think we mentioned a little bit ago. Yeah. Any kind of giant, fire giants, frost giants, hill giants, anything like that. Hook horrors are there, minotaurs, ogres, trolls.
I mean, pretty much anything it can intimidate or oppress into servitude.
Especially since, beholders rule over territories, so anything in that territory potentially could just be on this thing's side.
And they're also like so extremely arrogant. That you're talking that like even having a conversation with like intelligent giants and stuff, like if it serves the giant's purpose, they're not going to worry so much about the beholder being so self-centered.
Yeah. It's also like something along those lines too, where self-centered or whatever in terms of other opinions or whatnot for these creatures, like a death tyrant, right? You have a death tyrant and potentially it just has zombies.
Yeah.
Like, good luck with that.
But it could be any zombie, like
oh yeah,
like imagine a storm giant zombie, get wrecked. So I'm trying to get
I don't want to imagine that
a bigger version of this, but here are some old school beholderkin, and there's a beholder with no eye stalks. There's this centipede ass just creepy thing. It's like a centipede body, but it's got like this beholder head and these huge gross jaws. And then there's this tree with a mouth. And there's this guy with hands and a mouth in his belly and an eyeball. Like, what is going on?
Just, the stuff of nightmares.
Yeah, what were these people on? Or, here's the picture I was looking for. The Death Kiss Beholder from 3rd edition, but this little guy here with his eyeball cut out and the floating spell book.
Oh, yeah, nice.
That's the, and then the little itty-bitty gazer that they've zoomed in version of because he's too small compared to the other ones.
Yeah, exactly. It's so tiny. Oh. It's okay, buddy. Someday you'll be big. Someday you'll matter.
Someday you'll matter. Oh, man. Oh, gas spores are weird, too. Gas spores are like, they're myconids that look like little beholders, but they're just like mushrooms.
Are they related? Are they beholders?
No. They just look like them so that they like float over and explode.
What do they look like? Do you have it up right now?
No. There's an Eye of the Deep for everyone with the freaking lobster claws. But let's see, gas spore.
Gross.
Gas spore. Oh, this is the 4th edition look for them, I believe.
Oh, yeah, I totally get what you're saying. Yeah, but no relation.
But, like, there's a 3rd edition version.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jesus. And they explode, you said? Yeah, that makes sense. Gas spore. Why wouldn't it? Fuck. No thanks.
No, you don't want to get spored? Oh, here's another version. No, I don't. The mushrooms just look like eye stalks.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, that's gross.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, that's just a spider. But yeah, beholders. There's so many beholders if you dig. I wish I knew anything about Spelljammer.
Yeah, same. Be good.
Let's look. Spelljammer beholder ship. Like, they're all just...
ready.
I feel like you just, like, the beholder just, like, locks in.
Right, yeah, that's it. Yeah, it must. Like, there's no other way.
What is this thing? I don't know.
Was that a pun? Did you mean that?
I literally don't know. Like, look at this guy. He just pulls his eye stalk. He looks like a frog. He looks like one of those Pac-Man frogs.
Yes. Oh, man. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, see, hive mother. Yeah, definitely a thing. It's part of it.
Then there's fan art. Oh,
of course
this guy's in trouble.
Whew. Yeah, you did.
And then what is this? A rogue moon? Is that a rogue moon or is that a beholder? Can't tell.
Yes. That's the best answer. Yes. To all of the above. My God. Ugh. All right. Well, is there anything else that you want to add to the Beholder or Xanathar discussion
Yeah, use them.
before we wrap up?
Use beholders.
Okay, yep, solid.
I like this one. That's a nice beholder.
Which one?
The one I got up now.
Oh, okay, yeah, it came up finally for me.
I don't remember
Wow,
what
that's
that piece of
that
art's for.
Cool. It's huge too. Fuck.
Yeah. I mean, they are. They're like, they could just swallow you whole.
Well, that's why that other guy is dead, regardless of the eye stalks.
If they had anywhere to put,
yeah, that guy, yeah,
There's
you
like,
fuck.
Oh, is there? They had it in the. Yeah. There you go. Gross. It's like mostly brain and tongue.
Mm-hmm.
Then the eye. Some of the 3rd edition books had some fun anatomy images.
Yeah.
Like the Daconomicon's got a lot of them, which are pretty cool.
Yeah.
One of the Fiend folios has like a imp being dissected. It's pretty cool.
Nice.
Not much to the Beholder, though.
No, not really. But yeah, that's why, like, even that guy that you just showed me, like, with the treasure and everything, and that beholder behind him, like, dude, oh, that's kind of cute. Like, it's not even the fact that he has all those eyes and shit. It's the fact that you're gonna turn around and you're just gonna have teeth. Like, you're dead. You're dead.
Yeah, right? Like, they don't even use a bite attack, like, ever. Like, they don't need to, but those are some teeth.
They totally can, though. Like, it part of their abilities, but I feel like they rarely ever do that. Like, nothing is really that close that they need to. Ew. That's like a alien.
Yeah, I feel like someone took a xenomorph facehugger and remolded it into
Yeah,
a
that's
death
pretty
kiss
gnarly.
beholder.
Damn.
No idea what's going on there. That's gross too.
It is.
See, like, this is World of Warcraft's version. I think they call them eye demons.
Oh yeah, okay. Very similar though, except for like all the extra eyes. There's a couple.
Yeah, like you can make a beholder-like creature. I think I would get in trouble though, because I'd really want to add that anti-magic field.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's iconic. I think that's IP infringement.
Yes, I think so.
Unless I only gave it to a specific kind of beholder.
That is true. You could potentially do that. I'm not saying you should do anything like that, you mad scientist, you, but I mean, you could.
Just, change it when you get the cease and desist, am I right?
Aaron, why don't you play anymore? Because I can't handle the monsters Crowley throws. I just can't do it.
Come on, you're fine. It'll be fine. It'll be great.
Yeah, it says the person who knows that I die all the time.
Don't worry, beholder.
Oh, God. That's great. I love it. Oh, man. All right. Well, I think that's going to wrap up this episode. But before we completely, sign off and say goodbye, you had some updates that you had wanted to discuss.
Yes. So, let me open up my notes here so I can seize them. So, is anyone watching right now? Just us? Okay.
Just us. We did have a couple people, but hey, it's cool. Hopefully, people will listen to it later.
Yeah.
Whatever. And those of you who do, we appreciate you.
Yeah. So, this will be out on Thursday, so let's treat it from that point. Last Friday, aka March 1st, Lovecraftian Spells got 10 new spells, bringing it up over 50. It also went up by $1. However, as of today when this goes live on YouTube. There's still 3 more days to get 40% off on Drive-Thru RPG. So, while you can. Plague Doctor, same day, got a basic revision, clarified some of the abilities, and fixed some grammatical mistakes that have been lingering for a couple months. Quantum Sorcerer is coming. By now, I hopefully have all the random tables done, because they have an ability that when you use your spell points to regain abilities or use abilities or whatever, you have to randomly roll to see what aspect of a different reality you take on. With the more spell points you use, the more likely it's a more significant change. With them ranging from changing your hair color, to changing what kind of weapon you actually have, to changing what you actually have proficiencies in. So I gotta make a bunch of tables for that. And then also, I am working on all kinds of homebrew stuff, in like a written word capacity. So if you are interested in that, or you see it on the website and become interested in it, patrons are going to get more, and they're going to get mechanical stuff way before everyone else. Like races and maybe subclasses and stuff like that. So that is all actively being worked on and coming out, like, not in months, like soon, nowish, or last week even.
Excellent.
It's a nice change from 6 months ago.
Yeah. So be on the lookout for those items and more. And that's going to wrap up this episode of the Untamed Rant. Be sure to check out our website, thewanderingalchemist.com, for previous episodes of The Rant and our actual play podcast. You can also check out the website for tips, tricks, and weekly articles on tabletop gaming and all the general nerdiness that we ourselves enjoy.
Including something, I don't know if you've seen it yet, Red, but I did do a thing on Pixie Paladins, and there's a stat block for CR2, Knight of the Tranquil Grove, which gives the Pixie like 22 HP, some lay on hands, and a flyby attack.
Nice.
So if you want a Pixie to beat the heck out of your level 1 party, I got your back. Yeah, so if you haven't seen that, Red, check it out.
I have. I think I saw it pop up, but I haven't had a chance to actually look at it. But yeah, I definitely need to.
Yeah. Yeah, and we love doing this. We have a lot of fun doing it, and I like creating stuff for you guys. So if you'd like to help support us, as I said, become a patron. You can get those homebrew stuff, but you also get stuff like Lovecraftian spells. All of them get it. And stuff like Plague Doctor for everyone $3 and up. So even just $1 gets you access to a lot of stuff, including early access to articles and podcasts and all kinds of stuff that we do.
Yeah.
And we send you a welcome package with a couple wristbands, a sticker, and eventually you can get some dice over time. But there's more information on that on our Patreon page.
Yes, so if you would like to contact us directly with questions or comments, or to offer us a membership in Xanathar's Guild, please use the contact information located on our website. As always, I'm the Untamed Scribe.
And I am the Wandering Alchemist.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Bye-bye.